I will be doing a quick tank review for the Russian Tier 2 light tank, the T-26. What must you know about the T-26? This vehicle, it is very important that you play this tank carefully and know what you are doing in the first place if you want to do well in this tank. Due to the paper thin armor in the tank stat seal, 15 millimeters all around, your crew and modules can be damaged easily. Most of the time, HE rounds will do their full amount of damage to this tank. Let's cover the stats of the T-26 now. The stats for the T-26, when it is fully upgraded, it is just average. It is not that good nor bad. The tank hit points, when you have the top turret equipped, you will have 180 hit points, which is slightly above average for the Tier 2 tank area. As a light tank, this vehicle weighs potentially a maximum of 12.7 tons. My current setup for the tank, it is 9.68 tons. With equipment mounted, it would be about 9.96 tons, which give me a decent horsepower to ton ratio. The maximum horsepower that you can have with the top engine, it is a 130 horsepower engine with a 20% chance of the tank being set on fire. With a well-placed shot, this tank can be set on fire easily, so be careful about that. Most of the time, you are going to be killed by enemy gunfire, not by engine fire themselves. My horsepower to ton ratio, it is about 13.2 horsepower to 1 ton, which is not that bad actually. The top speed, it is 36 kilometers. With this tank, you will have problems reaching the top speed of the tank, unless if you are going downhill only. This vehicle hull traverse, it is very good at 52 degrees, so the tank hull can turn around quickly enough. The armor, it is paper thin, 15 millimeters all around for the hull and turret. There is some angling though from the front of the tank heel and on the turret as well. You may be lucky to get some ricochets from enemy machine gun slash flak guns at a distance only, but most tank guns will pin you with these. This vehicle top gun, it is quite good. You have about 40 damage average, which is not that bad. As long as you can keep the gun firing and get the gun shell to penetrate, you can inflict a lot of damage. The pen, it is quite good, 44 to 73 for this top gun. On average, about 58 millimeters pen. So, as long as you know where you are shooting at, you can pen most tanks at Tier 2 to Tier 3 area with these. Tier 1 tanks, you will have no problem pinning at all. The rate of fire, it is quite good for this 37 millimeter gun. 26 rounds per a minute. That means the rate of fire it is quite quick as well. The turret traverse it is good as well, 46 degrees. The turret can turn around quickly enough as well. The gun depression. The gun depression downwards it is 8 degrees, which is good for a Soviet light tank. The gun elevation upward it is 25 degrees. The view range it is mediocre at this TL. You have a grand total of 310 meters for the top turret. If you want to have a increased view range on this tank, mount a binocular telescopes, and your view range will be around 400 meters with perks added on top of it. The radio, on the other hand, it is okay, 300 meters. Let's cover the pros and the cons now for this tank. The research for this tank, it is an easy tank to research all of the equipment on this tank. Also, the equipment that you research on this tank, it is transferable to other tier 2 to tier 4 tanks as well. The tracks. The first pair of tracks here, you can use them and mount all of the equipment without causing the tank to go over the load limit. The upgraded pair of tracks, I would recommend that you research and mount them just for the increased hull traverse. The engines, they're all the same pretty much, except for their horsepower differences. The first engine, I would recommend that you keep using this engine until you have the top engine research and mounted. The second engine, it is not worth mounting because you just get another extra 10 horsepower over the 90 horsepower engine. The radios for this tank, it is mediocre. The top radio here, when you do research it, you have a grand total of 300 meters for the top radio. This radio is also used on tier 2 to tier 4 vehicles as well. You have 2 turrets that you can use. Both of these turrets are good to use though. It's up to you which one that you want to use. The first turret, the 36 to 37 turret, you have more turret armor in the front. You have 150 hit points with this turret. The first turret here, the 36 to 37 turret, you have a greater chance of ricocheting machine gun and a flat gun at a distance with this turret though. But this turret have slightly worse turret traverse speed and view range as well, if you compare it to the top turret, which would be the mod 1938 turret. The top turret, the 38 turret here, you have 180 hit points with 15 millimeters all around. You may be lucky still to get the odd ricochet from enemy machine gun fire / flak gun at a distance though, but most of the time the flak gun / machine gun will pen this turret most of the time at long distance. The turret traverse speed, and the view range it is increased so. Both of these turrets can mount all of the guns on this tank. The guns. The two guns that you are going to use on this tank, if you have not researched the two top guns already, you will have the 37mm B3 and the 23mm VJA gun researched already on the MS1. Both of these guns, they are good to use at tier 2 and tier 1 areas still. Both of these guns, if you do get yourself into a tier 3 match, these guns are not as useful to use if you compare them to the 45mm and the 37mm gun that you will research. When you do use either of those guns and get the needed research points, you will research and mount the 45mm gun. This gun, it is very much the exact same gun as the 37mm Dis 19 gun. The only difference between these two guns is that the accuracy it is slightly worse, the damage it is slightly better over the 37mm gun, the pen it is slightly worse, but not by much. The 37mm gun here, you have a better pen, but it comes out at the price of doing less average damage compared to the 45mm gun. The accuracy is better from .46 to .39. The aiming time and the aiming time and the rate of fire, they are the same. Both of these guns are good to use. It is up to personal preference. Do you want something that does more damage with a little bit less pen and not as accurate, or if you want to use something that is that have more pen, less damage, but a little bit more accurate? The 45mm and the 37mm gun, it is transferable to other tier 2 to tier 4 light tanks as well. To research the T-46, right now, the tank, it is on a discount right now, 38.5 thousand. The price for the moment, right now, it is 19,250 credits. The regular price, it is 38.5 thousand credits. To research this tank, you will need 1,400 research points, which should not take you that long. Let's cover the pros and the cons for this tank now. The T-26, as a tier 2 light tank, you can get yourself into tier 2 to a tier 3 matchmaking. The way how you play this tank, you have to play this tank very cautiously, as you can die quickly if you're at the wrong place at the wrong time. The play style for this tank, you can play this tank as a medium to long distance sniper, as a support tank, and as a front line tank. What is good about the T-26? The rate of fire, it is good for the top guns. The pen and the accuracy for the two top guns are good as well. You have about above average hit points for tier 2 tanks. The guns, you have a large selection of guns to choose from the 37mm B3 to the 37mm Dis 19 gun. Now to what is bad about the T26. You have a somewhat low top speed that you will have problem reaching that speed unless if you are going downhill only. You have paper thin armor, so every single tank gun will pen you with these. You have a low radial signal range. This tank armor, due to its paper thin armor, the modules and the crew members can be killed easily enough. Let's cover the consumable ammo layout and the equipment that you are going to be mounting onto this tank. Let's begin off with the consumables. I would go with a first aid kit to treat my crew member injuries, a repair kit to repair module damage. If you have a fire extinguisher laying around, mount it if you want to use it. At this hill, using a fire extinguisher at this hill would be a waste of money though. You can use it if you want to though. The ammo for this tank, you have a lot of shells to use up. You have 140 rounds of ammo. The regular armor piercing round, you have more than enough pen to penetrate most tanks at a tier 2 to a tier 3 area. Certain tanks at tier 2 to tier 3 area, if they angle their armor well enough, you can ricochet your rounds. Most of the time, if you fully aim and shoot at a weak part of the tank, your armor piercing round for the 45 millimeter gun and the 37 millimeter gun will pen it most of the time. I would go with a large amount of armor piercing rounds. The APCR round, you can use it if you want to. This ammo type, APCR, you will definitely pen every single tier 2 and tier 3 tank that you are going to come across. The cost for the shell, it is relatively cheap. 2 endgame gold or 800 credits. You can use APCR ammo if you want to though. It is up to personal preference though. HE, I would have some HE on me just in case if I want to shoot at a thinly armored tank or just to reset cap. The equipment slots, what you are going to be mounting. You can use a toolbox to get your repair done faster. The enhanced gun lane drive, it is not a bad idea to mount to have a increased aiming speed time by 10%. The cyclone filter, it is not a bad idea to use if you want to make your engine more durable. Coated optics would be a bit of a waste though. If you want to have a increased view range more than 310 meters or 280 meters for whichever turret you want to use, I would recommend the binocular telescope so you have a increased view range so you can technically snipe at longer distances with both of the turrets. The camo net, I would use one as to increase the chance of not being detected by enemy tank and to remain off of enemy radars longer. This lighter spall liner, it is a waste though. As the armor on the tank, it is paper thin. This would just be a wasted equipment slot. ventilation, just for the increased crew skill performance and tank performance as well. The enhanced Vickers torsion bar here is a waste as well. You can use it if you want to though, but I would not recommend it at all. I have two replays to show you. The first one is of me playing this tank as a long distance sniper slash being careful at the same time. The second one with me showing this tank how to use it as a frontline battle tank. Let's get to those two replays now. This replay, I will show you how you can use this tank as a support tank and also as a sniping tank as well at a distance. First things first, when the battle counter begins, most people go to part of the map that have at least some sort of a bush or a building to hide behind on this side of the map. For the replay here, I hide behind this bush. With the binocs and the camo net activated, I am invisible to the enemy team. This is Genie here. All of my rounds almost hit it, but none of them penetrate it. I am keeping an eye on the Genie there. The T7 combat car, I got one hit there. This medium 2, I fired blindly. I got a kill there. This type of AB, it's in a bad place at the time. If I was the type AB when I was using the T26 on that side of the map there, I would have been decimated quickly enough as the type of AB was. So that teaches you one thing. If you are at the wrong place at the wrong time, you will die quickly. The T7 car here. I got the last hit. No, it was by Alex Sandria Flat Points. This toggle, I try to put the aim to hit the tank at this distance. I wasted two shots there, thinking that I could have killed the Hoggle. I fall back a bit to get off of the enemy radar. I am doing something a little bit risky. Being in the open here, I am at least using the dead T18 hull here as extra armor. That T18 I could have had pin it if I used APCR and hit a tiny part of the tank there, but most likely I would have had missed my shot on the T18 there. I fired finally the T26 last position, got in the kill there. Looking around still. The T18 is the only one that is doing a base charge, while the rest of us are sitting around. I tried shooting at the T18, but all of my rounds were just doing potentially tracking damage. I am leading my shot ahead to hit the T26. I took you HG there. Knowing the T26 and the Arty there have paper thin armor. The T18 it is seen. Unfortunately, I could not get there in time to do any damage to the T18. This replay I did pretty good in for being as a support tank for the most part of the match. From shooting at a distance, I did about 410 damage in this match, with the uncalculated damage added in, which when I was shooting at the enemy tanks that I could not see, the grand total amount of damage I did was 550 damage. Let's go to the next replay now. This replay, I am using the T26 as a frontline battle tank. I am heading to the hill first. I accidentally drove into the T7 car there. There are definitely a lot of T7 cars in this match. I am using the hill here as a cover while I shoot. I have no idea what fired the APCR round at me. I am using the logs here adds extra armor while I am shooting at enemy tanks. I am making sure that that I am off of control map and the air. This 37mm gun, as long as you can get all of your rounds to penetrate and hit, you can inflict a lot of damage in a short amount of time. I fired blindly still into that bush. The team score, it is even now. I hop over the ridge here a little bit to see if I can shoot at enemy tanks with my binocs being activated. This 26 is having a bad day. I just set his tank on fire. I am making sure the T7 car is not seeing me anymore. Seeing my allies need help, I choose to help him out a bit. This is where things begin to get bad for me. Fortunately, I got back in time before I was killed by the T7 machine gun fire. By now I am looking around to see where I am needed the most and where I can potentially get more damage before I die. I am using this corner here to shoot at any potential tanks coming. I have no idea what that T7 car was doing. I poke out a bit to see if anything pops up. VPD2D as it is spotted. I was going to help out my team there, but this T2 medium chose to say hello to me. With me being on low health, I am being very careful, as the T7 car there can easily kill me. I did pretty good there in this replay as a frontline tank. I did about 830 damage, which is pretty good for a tier 2 tank. Also, this match I got in my my Master Ace Tanker badge as well. Let's go to the garage now to do a brief recap on the tank. Let's do a brief recap for this tank. This tank, as long as you play this tank cautiously, know what you are doing, and play according to the map and react in a tiny fashion, you can do quite well in this tank. This tank overall, it is just an average tank, which is a good thing and a bad thing at the same time. I found this tank to be an enjoyable tank to use if you play the tank carefully and know what you are doing in the first place. This is a tier 2 tank after all, so you can keep it or sell it. It is up to you. Overall, this tank is a fun tank to play as long as you play it as a distant support tank as well. I hope that you learn a thing or two about the T26 and how to play it. If you like my video, do follow my channel and also leave a comment as well. Good luck on the battlefield, everyone.